plane ride to Paris, I listened to the soundtrack of Eric Clapton's live performances and discovered a song that stayed with me throughout the whole trip. I listened to it again and again. Every time I hear it now, it takes me right back to those moments. When I arrived, I decided to walk instead of taking the metro. That day I walked almost 30,000 steps. For some people that might not sound like much, but for me it felt like a small achievement. Walking through a city lets you see places you would never notice as tourists, rushing from attraction to attraction. The next day I had blisters on my feet, but at that moment I didn't know that yet. It was simply enjoying the city, breathing in every bit of it. I passed quiet streets, small cafes, and locals speaking French. It was actually the first time I really had French being spoken around me in Paris. Somehow it made me want to learn the language, even though I hadn't even been there for 24 hours. Sometimes I don't know whether I should keep my camera in my hands and capture every moment, or just enjoy the experience without filming. Some moments I decided not to film, but somehow I still managed to capture many beautiful details, like the sound of the water flowing, something that felt calming not only in that moment but even now when I watch it again. Later I crossed the streets where many artists sell prints. I didn't buy anything, even though I was tempted. Strangely enough, it felt good not to buy something immediately, just to look and appreciate it. I remember being so amazed by the sightseeing that I almost forgot to drink water or eat. At one point I thought, okay, I'm in Paris, I should probably try a baguette. It was honestly just bread with something inside. Not life-changing, but the coffee definitely felt good. I also had a ticket booked for the opera and knew I had to get there on time. When I finally arrived, it completely blew me away. I didn't even expect it to be so beautiful. Every detail of the architecture felt carefully designed and full of history. There were many people around me, but I barely noticed them. I was completely focused on the architecture and on capturing the moments that fascinated me. Walking through those halls, I imagined what it must have been like to people centuries ago to come here and experience the performances. In the library, I understood that filming wasn't really allowed, but I still filmed a few moments anyway. Maybe those angles you weren't able to see without me filming there? Paris gave me a very special energy that day. The rooms, the opera itself, it all felt almost reading a film script. Later, I met a friend and she actually caught me crossing the street at the red light. At that moment, I truly felt like a local because no one walks over the green light. We laughed about it and we walked together for a while, talking and having a drink. What I noticed most was how people in Paris really seem to enjoy their city. Where we were sitting, people were jogging, skating, cycling, even on the streets full of tourists. I remember having a conversation about playlists that we use while running and roller skates. It's funny how I still remember most of the conversation that we had that day. The moment walking back home was magical because we saw someone celebrating his birthday in the park and everyone from the park singing along. The next morning I woke up and I had many ideas in my head about what I wanted to see. I didn't really have a strict plan, I just wanted to go with the flow and kept documenting little details that I found interesting. At one point I even walked around the Arc de Triomphe several times because I couldn't find the tunnel that leads underneath it. My neck actually started hurting a bit from constantly looking around and filming everything. I had a very specific idea in mind. I wanted to take the train so I could film the Eiffel Tower from the window. I did it, but as you can see the footage, I accidentally filmed the wrong side first, so I had to stand up again and film the right side. One funny coincidence during the trip was meeting a friend at a flea market in Paris. I wanted to look for vinyl records there, and the crazy thing is that this wasn't the first time that we randomly meet in another country. We had already run into each other once before in Milan while she was studying there. And now again in Paris, completely unplanned. That felt very special. I met my friend from the other day again for a coffee and a croissant, and we talked and laughed a lot actually, and the coffee was so good. I'm remembering tasting it really, really good. And we headed to a museum together. It was actually really nice experiencing art with someone else. That changes the whole experience and the feeling of it. You look at things differently, you talk about them, and sometimes someone else notices details that you would have missed. While walking through the museum, the vases triggered a childhood memory of mine. I remembered watching Hercules where the ladies are singing, and somehow that atmosphere of the museum reminded me of that cartoon scene. We kept walking and walking, talking and talking. I only took the metro when I absolutely needed to. At some point, we sat down on the grass with a view of the Eiffel Tower. People were sitting around us, talking, relaxing, enjoying the evening, and in that moment, I became very aware of something. Water. This moment was temporary, but it was also one of those moments you know you will remember again and again. The atmosphere, the light, the feeling of being there. I remember commenting on what we see, and at some point we were talking about the film Whale. Anyway, for a short time I even forgot that later that evening I had a concert to go to. Eventually I got ready and made my way there. And when the concert finally started, I had a few moments where I almost had to pinch myself. A legend was standing right in front of me, playing. A legend that are too many humans inspired from. a legend that I was reading an autobiography of, and I was actually there. Even today, it still feels a bit surreal to think about. The sound of the concert was still echoing in my ears the next day when I visited the Louvre Museum. The Louvre is enormous. There is simply no way to see everything in one visit. But what I loved most was the atmosphere inside. I kept wondering how artists managed to create something so detailed and precise, especially the sculptures. Sometimes the stone looks so smooth that it almost feels soft. I always ask myself the question when looking at art: what was the artist thinking about while creating this? Were they trying to impress someone? Were they experiencing something deeply personal? Or were they simply following an idea that felt good at that time? Sometimes I wish I could step into the mind of an artist just once to understand how they see the world. Maybe it was because of the concert that night before, but I felt very present in that moment. Walking through the halls, seeing the light coming through the glass ceilings, looking at sculptures and paintings that have existed for centuries. And then finally, I saw it, the Mona Lisa. I once did a school project about the Mona Lisa and the mysterious smile. One theory I remember researching was that she might have been pregnant at that time and that the subtle smile reflects a secret that only she knew. I don't know if that theory is true, but finally seeing the painting in real life was still special. At that time, I found it fascinating how many people gather around this one painting, while the museum is full of incredible artworks everywhere. While walking through the Louvre, I also noticed something else: how much effort and craftsmanship went into every single detail, especially the ceilings. They are full of paintings, ornaments, and sculptures. Today, our ceilings at home are usually just blank, and I kept wondering, why did we stop doing that? Why did we stop decorating spaces with that level of detail? Looking up at those ceilings felt almost as impressive as looking at the artworks themselves. Eventually, I realized I had once again forgotten to eat. So I sat down and finally had something simple: avocado toast with beans. Well, while thinking about where to go next. After that, I walked again for hours until I reached the Eiffel Tower. Sat there for a while, just watching it and reflecting on everything that I seen that day and the past days as well. The next day, I got to the Orangerie Museum, if I pronounce it correctly, and I accidentally waited in the wrong line for almost an hour. But in the end, it was worth it. Inside, I finally saw the famous water lilies by Claude Monet. Walking around the large rounded rooms and seeing the paintings from different distances from far away and close up had a surprisingly strong emotional impact on me, maybe even stronger than most other artworks I saw on the trip. Later, I also came across the painting by Pablo Picasso. I always liked how he thought abstractly, how he broke shapes and perspectives apart. Only later, when I bought postcards for my friends, I did realize that one of the paintings actually showed a half-naked woman. Some of the smaller rooms in the museum were incredibly beautiful as well. I remember thinking that I would love to have an office like that one day. At that fountain, I even wondered whether I should throw a coin into the water and make a wish. But then I asked myself, what should I wish for? Eventually, I walked up to the Hill Montmartre. There I bought a small book with a title that immediately caught my attention: Only Dull People Are Brilliant at Breakfast. I think that this sentence can be interpreted in many different ways. Maybe that's exactly the point. Nearby, I saw a Beatles album cover in a shop window, and once again I realized how much music shapes the way I experience places. Music and scenery somehow blend together in my memory. And that made me think about something. Maybe every trip deserves its own soundtrack. So I decided that from now on, whenever I travel somewhere, I want to create a playlist that represents that journey. Music that captures the feeling of the places I saw, because in the end, when I listen to those songs again, the whole trip comes back. The streets, the moments, the atmosphere.